Welcome back to Mountain West Phenomenons. I'm your host, Seth,
And your host, Tristan.
and today we have moved a little bit away from Nevada. Not far. we're still very close, but we moved up to the Sierra Nevada mountains, and today we're going to be talking about Donner Pass and like pretty much everything kind of in that area.
Yep. Just kind of a brief overview of all the things that we could find fascinating about the Donner area,
Yep.
including the Donner Party, which most of you are probably familiar with, and then also the Donner train tunnels.
No, yeah, the Donner Price like probably the biggest thing I would imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone in this area, I would think, went over that in middle school. So just a
Dude,
little refresher.
I like to go. What the fuck is happening with? Goddamn.
Or older audience, if we have any, like the Donner Trail game on like when computers first came out.
There's that. I remember
Yeah, have you never? I think we played that in fourth grade,
that.
or no, we kind of sorta.
I remember like in middle school there being like we doing like huge like Oregon Trail Donner Party, like in class game, you know.
Yeah,
Where like I remember like we each got like put in little groups and it's like, oh, you're going around. Yeah, like I remember that, and I remember having a lot of fun with that.
yeah, that was always a blast.
Which I think we were in the same group. Were we? No,
Mhm. No, I think we were. I think you died of
I
dysentery or
did.
something.
No,
It was
yeah.
either you or me.
No, I think our whole party died. But like it started with me because I do remember uh they like gave you fake money and they're like, "Oh, you got to buy items." And I was like, "Snake oil." And
Dude,
I
snake
took
oil, it's
it.
the safest way to go, Gotta
I
get it.
I took it, immediately got dysentery, and then I was pretty much out of commission. I think I died first, and I think everybody kind of just followed suit after me.
Damn, dude, started the plague.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like I remember that was really fun. So, and then the biggest thing, the Donner Party, and cannibals, or you know, eating people for to survive. But we'll get into all that. So, if you don't know about like Donner Pass or something, it's a little pass in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Well, I don't know if you would call it little, but it's there, and it was named after, of course, the Donner Party. Um, and it just has a little bit of history. Like in 1844, it was first used by the Stephen Townsend Murphy Party, and then of course 2 years later, the Donner Party tried to use it, which of course has the very known historical event of them being trapped up in the mountains during winter.
I wonder what gave them the wise idea of like, hey, let's go through this kind of sketchy path midwinter.
Um,
It's,
it
I
was a
mean, like, I guess it's a shortcut, but
it was a shortcut founded by this one dude that we'll talk about later. And his thing was he was supposed to lead them, but then he wasn't there, and after the fact, he got like ridiculed and just like gone after because they're like, "Fuck you for telling this giant party to go this way."
it's understandable. Nowadays, you'd probably be charged with like something of
Like
like
negligence
helping of
or
manslaughter. Yeah, negligence. That's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, because like he didn't mean to, but like he wasn't there, and then like all that. So yeah, it was a bunch of stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Uh
That's for sure on his half.
oh
He did
yeah,
that.
I think he's like tried to apologize, but it was like, dude, dude. But Donner Pass also isn't just with the Donner Party, there was also some more stuff that happened later down the line. Like on February 23rd, 1936, a blizzard trapped more than 750 motorists in Donner Pass and ended up killing 7. And then even later, on January 13th, 1952, 222 passengers and crew members on train became stranded about 17 miles west of Donner Pass. So it's had its little it's had its little thing.
What happened to those passengers on the train?
I think
Did they end up getting rescued?
yeah, I think like everybody was fine on there. I think it was the biggest thing was it was just snowing so much. Like the snow just accumulated so much on like I think top of the train that it just like physically stopped the train from being able to move. So like they weren't like fully in danger. It was just like, you know,
They got stuck.
yeah, for just a little bit, and then they
I
got
mean,
rescued.
even nowadays, they always shut down that area during the winter. So
Oh yeah, well, it's shown. Don't go there in winter.
yeah, it's a terrible area.
But like every winter, you just see like hundreds upon hundreds just get stuck up there.
Oh yeah, all the accidents
Yeah, because
and
they're like, we'll
pile
go
up.
through it.
And, I don't know. I remember what it was either last winter or the winter before. We went up to I think Vallejo through, and we took Donner Pass. But that was terrible. I was being reckless. I was like, we got 4-wheel drive, so I was going probably like 70 and
Yeah,
just
see,
straight slush. Yeah, and then I like slammed on my brakes, and luckily nothing happened. But
yes,
it was terrifying.
you're one of those people who just get stuck up there because you're like, I can do it.
Well, I wasn't gonna get stuck. If anything, I was just gonna cause a major accident.
Well, huh? Is it better to get stuck or get fucking in an accident? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd much rather get stuck.
Yeah, especially now. Like it, I don't think another Donner Party situation will happen.
No, I don't. No, I don't want to put it past anyone. Actually,
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
But
there's some odd people out there might
there,
try it.
oh yeah.
Could just, I mean, who knows? Maybe they just do it for fun. Yeah.
Well, I think there was one dude with the Donner Party who kind of went a little too much, going, "Oh, this is nice. Hold up."
Put it in their heads. He's like, hey, maybe we should eat these people more often. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we will get to that asshole. But so the Donner Party, it was also known as the Donner Reed Party. Um, the Reeds being the like second, I think, biggest, you know, family.
Yeah, like the main.
Yeah, of the two. And it was a group of pioneers that migrated to California from the Midwest, and the party was from Springfield, Illinois, and they left Independence, Missouri, in the spring of 1846. And the thing was, both George Donner and James Reed received like 2 pieces of mail from a person named Lansford Hastings, who told them about basically like a quicker route to California, and that was their plan, was to follow this new route to California, and it was named the Hastings Cutoff.
Kind of like that name more, to be honest.
The Hastings Cutoff?
Yeah, I think that just sounds better.
No, yeah. Well, I think that was like the name for the whole route, and not just
Okay.
Donner Pass. Like the whole route was like the Hastings Cutoff. And this is the dude who later on tried to apologize because he wasn't there, and his descriptions of the like terrain was pretty fucking wrong.
I don't remember. Did they just get stuck up there because of snow, or did they wander off path and kind of get lost in the middle of nowhere up there?
So it was initially they got stuck, And the reason they got stuck was basically the whole journey was just shit just kept happening that just kept delaying them more and more. To the point that when they reached Donner Pass, it was already snowed and blocked, and that's what's got them stuck.
Okay, I don't think I knew that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they just had like misfortune up the wazoo the whole trip. Like they were getting kind of just fucked in the ass constantly, trying to use this route.
Sounds like nothing worked out in their favor.
Oh no, yeah. But the party, originally, because they did end up joining like a couple different groups came together. But the original party was 9 wagons that contained 32 members of the Donner and Reed's family, plus their employees. From the Donner family, we had George and his wife, I don't know how to say her name, Tamsin? I'm not sure.
Um, yeah, I think Tamsin. Yeah,
uh,
looks right.
yeah, which that's a unique name. Never heard of that. But
Kind of like it. We should bring it back.
honestly, yeah, not bad. Hold up. Their 3 daughters, Frances, Georgia, and oh my god, Eliza,
Eliza?
not Eliza. Oh my god. And then his 2 stepdaughters, Leanna and Elitha. I think that's how you say that.
Yeah.
And then with them, George's brother Jacob brought his family, which included his wife Elizabeth, their 2 stepsons Solomon and William, and their 5 other children George, Mary, Isaac, Louis, and Samuel. And from the Reed's family, we of course have James Reed and his wife Margaret, their stepdaughter Virginia, and then their daughter Martha Jane, with sons James and Thomas. Plus, they also brought Margaret's mother Sarah, but she ended up dying early on from tuberculosis. Oh my god.
No wonder why these families had to be so wealthy with all them kids. Like, that's a lot of mouths to feed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's couldn't imagine that nowadays. I mean, what nowadays it's like you don't even know if you want to have a kid because you can't feed that one kid.
Yeah, where you're like, okay. Will I be able to even have this kid? Because could I feed him? Could I bring him to, doctor's appointments? All that.
Seriously.
Nah, they're popping them out, which, goddamn. Fucking George and Tansy especially they got down. Goddamn.
Yeah.
they were going.
Yeah, that's way too many kids.
Oh yeah. But that was the original. They of course ended up joining there's a lot of members that ended up joining. I think the first thing was like they joined like a 50 group of people joined theirs like early on. And that just kind of happened a couple times, so it got bigger to where I think it was like 87 to like 90 people at the end. So it was a big group.
I mean, it's just more people to eat, right?
Oh yeah. And we'll see this becomes kind of a problem. As we talked about, the group had, mishaps and just bad fortune during the whole journey, from members dying of tuberculosis, terrain being rougher than they were told, which a lot of that causing them to lose a lot of their cattle and food during the whole trip. They kind of went through quickly. And also they got attacked a couple times by different Native Americans, which just caused more issues.
I could see that. I wouldn't expect them to be able to travel that far without running into some major issues or people trying to steal their stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think the Hastings cough, and it was like how bad this shit was. I think it was also trying like a thing to be like, oh, this is to like help avoid those conflicts. As we can see, that was fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I feel like it would honestly cause more issues with them being in. It's like a it's like a valley area, right?
Donner's Pass, or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So wouldn't you think it'd give, let's say, the people that know the area a better advantage at attacking them, considering they quite literally have the high ground, like they know where to hide up there and all that.
no, yeah, and I think because they not only went through Donner's Pass, they also had to go through the Rocky Mountains with this route. So like they had to go through that whole thing, and they even had to go through oh my god, it's in Utah. What the? Oh my god, it's like a giant salt thing. I'm forgetting what
The
literally.
salt flats.
Yeah, and they had to go through that.
But yeah, I can imagine that'd be pretty rough back then.
Oh yeah, which caused a lot of issues with their wagons, causing to break down. Uh,
Rusting out.
yeah, and like sinking. I'm pretty sure because I think like the moisture then would like make it into like a
Just mud, pretty much.
yeah. And then because of it just being the soft flats, there was even dealt with more of like their oxens and stuff like just running away, like just freaking out and just running away.
Yeah, I mean, the poor things are probably super dehydrated and hot,
No, yeah,
uncomfortable.
and this basically was happening through the whole journey of them slowly losing their cattle, slowly losing their wagons, food being used up more during like the long stretches of nothing. And during this time, um, where they actually went to a fort to get like to meet up with the Hastings dude, but he wasn't there. There, the original plan there to meet up the fort. I don't remember the fort's name, but they were to meet there, and he was going to basically help guide them the whole rest of the way. Um, and especially because since it was a new route, and he knew, but since it was a new route, it's very unclear on where you're to go. So yeah, they ended up like going on rougher terrain than maybe they should have, which just caused more of those issues.
Well, I think that the guy probably would have marked it out. Well, never mind. Even if he did mark it out, it probably would have been covered in snow.
Yeah, he tried. Like, I think there was like, oh, he left notes and like, I think like nailed to trees. And I think even
It's
one
not
was
too
like,
helpful.
hey, you should turn back. This is a lot rougher. Like, the dude really just sold the bag.
Damn.
Um, and he even, I think, they left letters for the group being like, either turn back or like wait, you know? Um, but the party was never shown those letters. So where
What do you mean? Like they got destroyed before they got there, or?
no, they were left at the fort. Um,
Oh, okay.
but I think it was James Reed even made that the thing of like the dude who was left the letters like intentionally didn't show them the letters for some fucking reason. So like they didn't know, so they just continued on. Um, which I don't think we ever like. It was never a for sure thing. If like the dude like intentionally did not give them to it, or like what happened. That was just kind of like their theory after all of it.
Maybe he had some beef with the families and he wanted to take care of them, you know?
He could have, because the James Reed originally was going to be like the leader of the group, but he was very unlikable, so they chose George Donner to be kind of like the head of the party instead. Just since he
Well,
kept kind of rubbing everybody the wrong way. So it could have been. It could have been like just rubbing the dude the wrong way. He's like, I'm not going to tell him.
I could see it.
Which, during all this, it caused huge tensions in the group. To where, for a time being, the kind of group probably, broke into smaller groups of like different families, of like, and them not really trusting one another. And during around this time, James Reed would end up killing a man in the group named Snyder, who apparently started to beat his wife. And then when Reed jumped in to protect his wife, he also started getting beat, so he killed the man. But he was so not liked by the group that they pretty much banished him from one of the smaller groups, and he had to ride up to basic and like join the main Donner family group for a little.
I mean, I don't know why he would. You think you'd want to be on like your best behavior and be fake to everyone, especially if you're on a trail that long. Like,
No, yeah, but
I don't
like
know, I'd,
him and his wife were quite literally getting attacked by this dude.
yeah,
And like, because they originally were going to just like kill Reed, like hang him for killing a man.
yeah.
But they were like, well, they were getting attacked. So that's why they decided, okay, you're just going to leave this group. Like, you can't be here. Like, we won't kill you because we acknowledge you were getting attacked, but we don't like you either, so go.
Seems fair.
But they at least let the rest of his family stay in that group. It was literally only him getting banished.
I don't know. I'd be kind of upset if my family left me like that and they all just stayed when I got banished.
Well, it ends up working out for him a little bit more. Because when he does join the Donner group, he ends up scouting ahead more because of how rough everything is. And he actually ends up, I think, along with one other person, I can't remember. Like, they end up actually getting across Donner Pass and into California before the snow. So so that whole thing actually pretty much let him get like not deal with any of this.
I mean, it's good, but I don't know. I couldn't imagine. He'd be over there all happy and he's like wondering where his family is.
Oh yeah, he when all of like them being snowed in was happening, he was like really trying to urge people to try to rescue them. So he was trying. It just was not really happening because of just the heavy snow. Where he actually interacts with the man we did talk about before on this podcast, actually in the first episode, that, what was his name? John C. Vermont?
I do not remember.
The dude who founded Pyramid Lake, he was one of the
Oh,
people that James Reed was talking to try to help, save the Donner Party.
maybe they should have listened to him.
Oh yeah. um, but they end, through all this, they do get to the mountain, and they they pretty much were like, we're out of time. We have to keep pushing forward, and hopefully just have luck. And so that's why they continued up into the mountains fully. Which,
I mean, either way, if they didn't, they would have been screwed.
oh no, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty much like, we literally can't do anything besides just go ahead.
Yeah, just hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. And during, like, I think around this time, they did get joined by two, like, Native American guides in, like, the hopes to, like, help navigate more and, like, not get attacked by other Native Americans as much. So those two also joined the whole party pretty much around this time. But many of the families, like, pretty much all the other families, went ahead of the Donner family to try to get to the mountain, where they saw that the pass was completely blocked. while the Donner stayed way behind and was making their trek up like a lot slower. The families, I'm trying to see the name. Oh yeah, you got like the Breens, the Murphys, there's a couple Graves. All of them, they set up shelter pretty much like right in Donner's Pass, with the Donner family making shelter quite ways down. So they were even disconnected from the other group. But they set up shelter, and that pretty much starts their giant hellish winter, where the rest of their animals ended up dying. And then
No, did they?
Hmm?
I'm assuming they resorted to eating the animals first before
Yeah,
the
so
people.
they tried preserving the animals that did die. Some animals' bodies just got too lost in the snow where they just could not even find them. And the shelters they built, they even had to break down their wagons, the remaining, to help build. And it was pretty bad. It was a quick little shelters for winter and all that. And then
Yeah.
just kept going. They went through their food really quick, and to the point where they started having to strip, basically, because they used their oxen hides to for their roofs, and they would have to they resort to starting to eat those. They started to eat little mice that they could find, basically stuff like that, and that was most of their time spent, was just doing that.
Just hunting for food.
Yeah, trying to find what they can, eat, piece of the hides that they used for their roofing, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
leak, but they had to. And they're basically the this whole thing was happening to the point where Franklin Graves would fashion 14 snowshoes, and a party of 17 men, women, and children, uh, you know, decided to leave to try to cross the mountain to help because everybody started to starve, and it was all going pretty bad. And this group was later be called the Forlorn Hope, and they pretty much got fucked. It did not go well.
I can imagine. I mean, good for them for at least trying rather than just resorting to eating each other first.
Oh no, yeah, they tried. They pretty much though were getting most I think most of them pretty much became snowblind. Um, and because of them being already weakened from the long periods of starving, they were just having a bad time. Where even the two people who didn't have snowshoes ended up going back to the shelters they had at the camp. So 15 of the men, women, children tried to cross the mountains. One of the members, Charles Stanton, whatever. He decided to stay behind because how weak he was, and said he would catch up to the group. But he pretty much died where he was, and he was the first domino to fall.
Yeah.
The group then, soon after became lost and confused, and because of their starvation and weakened state, one of the members named Patrick Dolan made the suggestion that one of them should volunteer to die so the others could eat. However, it was pretty much rejected, mainly by a man named William Eddy, who told them they should keep moving until someone drops dead, and then, they could look into eating then.
I guess I'd feel a little less terrible about eating someone if that was the situation. At
Yeah.
least let them pass, I guess, on their own means.
No,
kind
yeah,
of.
I think he had the right idea instead of like, because I think they'd probably be more guilty if you're like,
They
if
had to kill
someone,
him.
if one, yeah, someone's like, took a stand and went, okay, you guys kill me and eat me. I think there would have been, probably more guilt if instead of like, oh, John was walking but he dropped dead, you know.
Yeah, might as well serve a purpose than just leaving it to rot.
Oh no, yeah, and soon, they started dropping Antonia. He was the first to die. He was a worker with, I think, either the Reeds or the Donners. He was followed by Franklin Graves. Um, and then the dude who did suggest eat like someone dying so they could eat, he just started losing his mind, where he became so delirious he stripped off all his clothes and ran to the woods. But he would return like to the group later, but he died pretty much a few hours later. So the man
Huh.
who suggested cannibalism, he went insane, just ran to the woods.
It's kind of a shocker. I would assume that he'd be like the first one to jump on the train of eating people.
No, yeah, but I don't know if it was like it probably was a factor of his starvation, but like I know there is a thing of like when you get hypothermia, you just become so delirious you think you're like on fire.
Yeah, I mean, there's comes a point where it kind of starts to burn.
Yeah, so like I'm sure that's probably the thing that prompted him to like strip off his clothes. And it was just probably like a mix of starvation that just made him go, I'm running to the woods.
Yeah,
Which I think if I was that group, I probably would be so scared of seeing the man return like hours later after just seeing him become butt naked and just running off.
yeah, I would assume that they would be thinking he'd do something crazy or attack them. So,
Yeah, like I, in my mind, I'd be like, he's definitely a Wendigo. you know,
oh, what?
a Wendigo.
What's that?
It's a Native American like folklore creature or monster who lives in mountains. And the whole thing is that they're people who resort to cannibalism, and I think it's like they resort to cannibalism and then they get possessed by an evil spirit that just makes them perpetually like hungry, and so then they just start attacking people and eating people.
No, that'd be terrifying.
So like in my mind, if he came back after stripping off his clothing and running off to the woods, I think I would be like, that man that man's definitely documented proof of a Wendigo, and he is going to kill us. Kind of
Yeah.
shocked they didn't kill him.
I mean, they're probably too weak to like actually fight or kill anyone at this point.
I mean, that's probably true, yeah. They're like, if he tries, he probably will win.
Yeah, and probably just give up once he started attacking.
No, yeah. But thankfully, well, I say thankfully, but he does end up dying, a few hours later after he did return to his group. Where after that, William Eddy would warn the two Native Americans with them that he overheard the group planning to kill them and eat them. So he like got them to leave. However, it was in vain because later on they were found by the group, where a man named William Foster shot them dead. So
Do we know why?
why he shot them dead?
Yeah.
So they could eat them,
Oh well.
and
All
they
right.
did.
All right.
They ate the Native Americans.
It's a shame.
No, yeah. So, but the other William Eddy, he tried he tried to warn them, be like, hey, you guys should probably leave. But it was in vain because they were also trapped up on the mountains.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't have gotten far,
No, yeah.
even if they successfully got away without getting shot.
Mm-hmm. Which a few days after that incident where they did kill the two Native Americans, which this kind of makes it worse, they did make it to a Native American settlement where they got help. So truly, they probably didn't even need to kill the two.
Did they find out that they killed two of their people?
I don't think the Native Americans did. I also don't know if it was like of the same tribe. I think they might have been different, but
Mm.
um, but yeah, I don't know if they found out. Also, William Foster was basically he didn't like there was like the law, the government did nothing against him or anything for killing two people and eating them. Which most attribute to just because of how Native Americans at the time were viewed. So it's like, oh, well, you ain't kill a white man, so it's fine.
Oh, different time.
No, yeah,
A different time.
he definitely should have served, but
Yeah. I mean,
well,
I
what can
think,
you do?
at this point, they were probably just thankful they had food.
No, no, yeah. Which after they got help, a group was put together quickly, which I think William Eddy was a part of, to go and get the other six survivors of the Forlorn Hope on January 17th. And then with that, that also would kick off the relief efforts to save the survivors who were back at camp. And it took 3 different relief efforts to pretty much save all the surviving members of the Donner Party at the camp, which resulted in only 48 surviving out of the about 87 to 90 people that were part of the group.
That'd be crazy, dude. Imagine how I'd assume they'd all have PTSD at that point.
Oh, I imagine like if like half your group just is gone from
I mean,
everything.
yeah, and I'm sure once you resort to like having to eat somebody, I probably like a point of no return.
No, yeah, and I think many of the survivors like talked about like the lasting, issues that caused, pretty much like the psychological aspect of it all.
I can imagine.
And of the people who survived, all of George's children survive, but George would end up dying. And out of Jacob's children, only George, Mary, and Solomon survived from the actual Darner family.
Yeah, that'd suck. Going over there expecting, oh, we're gonna start a new life for a family, and then boom, you're all dead.
Yeah. Which, like, I think Jacob's children, especially, like, a lot of them ended up dying during the process of the, like, relief effort of, like, leaving. Um, because when the relief efforts were happening, they also weren't giving the people that much food because they worried that if they ate too much because of the starvation, they would just end up killing themselves.
Yeah,
Which one of Jacob's children, what was that man's name? Uh, William, the other stepbrother with Solomon, he ended up dying because he broke into a food storage that the relief efforts had, and he just ate himself to death. So it was truly an actual concern.
I think that's how I would have gone out.
Yeah,
I would have saw food and just gorged myself to death.
probably same. Actually, I know how I would go. I would break my other ankle and just be like, I'm dead.
That's like
Leave me.
right as you left. Not even snow or winter. You just trip on a pebble or something.
Yeah, I'd just be like, leave me. No, no, Seth, we can get you up. No,
You're like, we're
no.
a mile from home.
Let nature take me. It's clearly
Yeah.
what it wants.
I
Um,
mean, if I broke my ankle, that's what I would do.
no, yeah. Which during the relief efforts, Tamsin Donner, she would stay with her husband, since he was like one of the last people they were going to try to grab since he was in one of the worst states. Um, but that didn't end up happening because they found him dead when they came, back. Which this gets us into like the biggest asshole of the group. One of the people who stayed, his name was Louis Kensenberg. I think that's how you say his name. Um, he was an asshole. He stayed pretty much. And then when relief efforts were happening, he told William Eddy that he ate his dead son.
Oof.
He just, he's such an asshole. He went, "Don't worry, Eddie. I did eat your dead son." Which Eddie immediately responded that if he ever saw Lewis in California, he would kill him.
Yeah, I think I would respond the same way if someone ate my kid.
Oh no, yeah. Uh, and it gets even worse because, as I said, Tamsin Donner, she decided to stay, and when they came back, like for like the final time, she was found dead. And it was suspected, and Lewis was suspected of murdering her because she was found at his cabin, and he was like, "Oh, she came to my cabin all soaking wet, and I gave her a blanket, and then she died during the night." But they're very much suspected because in his cabin he had a pot of human flesh, he had George Donner's pistol, and he had $250 in gold from Tamsin Donner.
Dude just had a sweet tooth.
This is the dude where I'm like, I think he went he went a little too much with the cannibalism.
Yeah, no, he liked it too much. Should have just left him up there.
No, yeah. Which the people who did die in the camp, they also resorted to cannibalism. Where I think one of the kid, his name was like John Baptiste. He changed his story because he was like, "Oh, I ate, a dead baby," and then he's like, I didn't actually do that. But like, so he changed his story. But the Forlorn
He
group
was,
wasn't the only people doing the cannibalism.
yeah, I mean, I could imagine they would probably try to lie about it to make themselves feel better.
Oh
The
no, yeah.
moral impact it would have on someone to be like, I ate a baby.
unless
Like,
unless you're Lewis,
yeah, I
unless
mean,
you're
that guy
Lewis.
was fucking digging in.
Which apparently later on in life, William Eddy did try to kill him, but he was talked down by James Reed and I forget the other dude. But he wanted to. He wanted to track down Lewis and kill him, which is very fair. Um, because even later on, Lewis would end up suing members of the relief party that saved him, because since they accused him of murdering Tamsin Donner. He was awarded $1 in damages, but then they made him pay court fees. So,
Good.
no good.
It's,
It really feels like the court were like, yeah, he probably did murder her. There's just no evidence. So we can't, say they were right. So here's $1, and you gotta pay us back. So I'm
well, I mean, I
glad.
couldn't imagine how much $1 actually was back then, though. It's probably a lot.
Maybe. It could have been, yeah.
Like, you got to think that $250 was probably their entire life savings.
You know what? Probably true. Which makes it even more fun that they're like, okay, you get $1. Now give it back.
Yeah, no, he deserved it.
Oh, no, yeah. This
He's
dude's
teasing.
such an asshole being like, I ate your dead kid, by the way. Hey, what about her? Do you murder her? No. Why would you think that? It's not like she came to my cabinet and she just ended up dead. What?
Totally not related.
No, yeah. And, the surviving members, they got to California. They ended up trying to piece their life back together. I think the one who got the worst was William Eddy, because he quite literally ended up just completely alone after the whole ordeal. Though he did remarry eventually, but at least everybody else kind of has some family remaining. He just didn't.
Sucks for him. It'd be pretty devastating.
No, yeah, especially since he seems like the best dude, because he was like, no, we'll eat someone if they drop dead. You know, we're not going to kill them. He also tried warning the Native Americans, even though it didn't end up working out. So, like, he seemed like the best dude.
Yeah.
Also, he had to deal with fucking Lewis asshole over there being like, I ate your kid, by the way. He was tasty. Um, which even more with that Lewis dude. Apparently later on in life, after the whole ordeal, he became more like um paranoid and like not like really going out, and became more secluded, and even had a thing where he was like, oh, you know, I feel like God is, you know, signaling, oh my god, you know, God is like putting a spotlight on me and trying to see like how much one human can suffer. And it's like, fuck you.
I mean, yeah, the guy does sound like he was probably terrible, but he probably did have a lot of issues after that. Like, ate someone's kid, murdered their wife.
No, yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck you, you asshole. Being like, God just wants to see how much a human can clearly suffer. And it's like, you literally told, you went to a father and went, I ate your dead kid. Like,
Yeah, no, he would deserve whatever he had.
no, yeah. And then to be like, oh, God just wants to see me suffer so he can see. And it's like, oh, God, I wish William Eddy kind of just killed him there. They should have let him, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be justifiable.
If I
Just
was,
turn your back,
yeah, it would
act
be
like you
like,
didn't see anything.
I'd be like, you know what, William? I'm actually still snowblind. Like, I didn't see shit.
Couldn't blame him.
I mean, do what he did. Be like, oh no, no, Lewis, he died in the middle of the night. Somehow. I didn't
It
do it.
was a cold god to him.
Yeah, it's summer. Hey, you know, I heard the coal sticks around up here. Oh my god, just fuck this dude. But, yeah, that was a brief thing on the Donner Party.
Brief.
Yeah,
Brief, you say.
brief. Well, I mean, brief for me. There was a lot more I could have included. So, that's, you know, the Donner Party. Uh, you know, bad winter. um, Eventually, they would set up a memorial, you know, state park, uh, where I think, if I remember correctly, it was like the Reed's cabin was, um, but around there, and they would set stuff up. Which, with that, I mean, I think definitely after, you know, like that winter, ghost stories would pretty much start. The most famous being supposedly at the Donner Memorial State Park. It is said that you can see Tamsin Donner's ghost wandering, you know, around. And her ghost is described as a glowing yellow female figure that hovers off the ground. And you know, that's like the biggest, like the most um like known ghost story of that. There's a couple more. Like there is like a like really like rough looking dude in old timey, you know, clothes, wandering the forest. Um, I even heard like there's a weird gas station, um, of like people having like a gas station that not sure if it fully exists, but like having weird encounters of seeing again people in old timey clothes, um, being there and stuff and having those interactions, which I think is very like normal for people in the area knowing the history and being like, oh, there definitely ghosts there. Now, how true that is, you know, that's up to you, but I think that's very
Well,
normal.
I wouldn't imagine that even if there was ghost from this, that they would want to stick around this long, you know? I would imagine they would find peace or whatever it takes for them to pass on.
No, yeah, and that's where I think you can also get into like the different interpretations of ghosts. You know, like is it like they can't move on because of that? Is it they're stuck in a time loop? I know that's a popular ghost theory, which is like probably like the worst one because especially for them. And like if it was like ghosts are just like stuck in like a time loop, goddamn for the Donners.
Except that one dude, he gets to relive eating that kid every day.
Yep, he's like, it was good the first time, and it's good the 50th time. And you know, there's stuff like that, which honestly, I'm actually kind of shocked that haven't seen a lot of people try to go, like, talk about someone becoming a Wendigo. Because since that, like, this is very much like, from my knowledge of the Wendigo, this is like very, like, stereotypical story of how one would be made.
Well, there probably is. You just didn't come across it.
No, yeah. Probably not on the internet, maybe you'll have. There's probably a grandfather out there who's like, oh, Louis Kesselberg, or however you say that fucker's last name, he became a Wendigo. That's why he's such an asshole. But yeah,
All right.
you want to move on to the train tunnels?
Yeah. So I'm gonna hop into the Donner train tunnel system. It's a little apart from, let's say, the whole cannibalistic side of the Donner group and all that, and it's more just a little bit of a history on the Donner train tunnels that I thought was fascinating.
Hell yeah.
Um, Yep. So we can go into the construction. They were built between 1865 and 1867, taking roughly 15 months to complete. So, I mean, all in all, I feel like that was actually kind of fast, considering the size and length of these tunnels.
Yeah.
But,
Like, I would expect that, like, time frame, like, nowadays with, like, modern technology.
oh, yeah, especially considering that most of the areas up there, including the summit tunnel, it's pretty much just solid granite.
God damn.
So, yeah, I can imagine being those people. But to build these tunnels, they used several thousand Chinese laborers under the Pacific Railroad. Um, with this area, like I just mentioned, it had very specific challenges while constructing, like carving through solid granite mounds, and the summit tunnel being the height of 1,600 being at the height of 1,659 feet, taking 2 years to complete for just that tunnel alone.
God damn.
Yeah, like I said, it's solid granite. I couldn't imagine
No, yeah. And
it'd be a
does
pain.
is this the summit tunnel is just like the tunnel at the top, right? Is that?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
okay.
highest tunnel
Oh,
through the
okay,
system.
okay.
Yeah.
God.
Um. So to complete these tunnels, to complete the summit tunnel, they had to take a little bit of a different approach rather than what you'd usually think of just, say, mining straight through the hill. So instead, they actually built a vertical tunnel at the very top of the hill and went down to their desired height and then went out. Well, they dug outwards in both directions to make this tunnel complete, and they would use a stripped down locomotive at the top to pull out the rock or granite chunks through that vertical shaft.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I would be personally terrified of being in that confined space, but
Oh, dude. I mean, even being
like,
like walking through the tunnels like now, like after all that, there's still that
yeah,
sense of like, ooh.
a little claustrophobic in there for sure, especially when you see the ceiling kind of crumbling down on you.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the project, like, most of the other tunnels that weren't solid granite, they used methods of black powder, hand tools, and eventually, towards the end, they figured out, hey, we can use nitroglycerin through a process for drilling the rock.
That's just dynamite, isn't
Um,
that?
yeah,
Okay, I was like,
I believe so.
damn.
But I mean,
I should be.
rather efficient. You know,
It'd
I
be
think we still
efficient, but
use
I'd
it
just be
today.
scared. Yeah, I'd just be scared of like, we're just going to cause like a landslide and kill us.
Yeah, especially being that high up.
No, yeah.
Um,
Donner 2.0.
yeah. So once they ended up carving out the tunnels, they were able to create a massive dry laid support wall, solid granite. It is known as the China Wall. I'm only assuming that they named it the China Wall because all the thousands of Chinese laborers they had to use. But
I mean, yeah,
maybe that's like their sense of
humor
um,
being like, oh, we have all these Chinese workers. China Wall.
well, yeah, I guess here I was thinking more like gratitude. Like we're gonna, well, I guess it's not too much gratitude considering it's just a support wall.
Yeah,
But
that's where they're like, fine, you can have that.
yeah, it's a little messed up. Um, all in all, the tunnel was used for, well, the tunnel system, it was used for around 125 years until 1993 when a new railroad was constructed through Mount Judah. And the older Donner tunnels, they were left abandoned not only because of its inability to fit the now more common double stack containers, but also due to the high maintenance cost, especially during the winter months, struggling with ice, snow removal, and the newer tunnels offering a more modern logistics flowing, or more modern approach following the corporate reconstruction
Okay.
for the Pacific Railroad community.
I mean, damn, they were still in use for a good time, though.
Yeah, I would say they got their money's worth for 125 years.
No, yeah, because I think, like, there's a lot other, like, I think, like, train tunnels and shit that got, like, pretty much decommissioned soon after. So, at least this had a good run.
Yeah, I'm sure there was several casualties building the thing, so hope
Oh,
so.
definitely. And that maybe that's also why they named the one support wall.
The China Wall.
Yeah, because I imagine there's probably a lot of the Chinese immigrants probably died in the process. So maybe it was also that where it's like, you know,
Yeah, I could see it. Couldn't
hey.
imagine trying to stand up that giant wall by itself.
Oh, dude, that'd been fucking terrible.
Yeah. So a little later on, I guess, also, let's just say for my darker side of this, there was several derailments that took place in this area. Um, I don't believe there's too many casualties from these derailments, though. The first one was in 1990 involving Southern Pacific Railroad, and then another one involving a passenger train and a steam engine helper in 1992. Then, following up in 1997, an incident involving a snow or a flanger plow. I believe that's the snow plow, unless I'm incorrect.
I was like, is that what snowplows are like actual called? Or at least, I guess, like at that time or something?
I think so. I guess I probably should have looked that up. But yeah, I believe that's just the fancy term for snowplow. Then the tunnels were eventually abandoned,
Hmm.
and uh, well, I mean, they're now visited as just a popular tourist and hikers visited by tourists and hikers alike. Um, if you go up there, you can see that it's also a very well-known graffiti area. There's quite a bit of cool art actually up there, if I do say so
Oh,
myself.
dude, there was like so much of it was like so awesome. My favorite part was
Yeah,
seeing people fucking graffiti Yu-Gi-Oh characters.
dude, last time I was up there, those were still there.
No, yeah, like Oh my god, that was awesome seeing when we were hiking through there. Especially
Yeah,
like
there's
just
all
seeing some bit like here's giant dark magician girl.
no, it's for sure one of the more entertaining hikes just to see all the art.
Oh dude, it was
Um,
so cool. And like the parts where you could go outside of like like the fucked up parts.
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but especially when you get a chance to climb up on top of the tunnels, it's
Oh dude, that was
makes for an
awesome.
amazing view.
Oh, lovely, lovely view. Though I remember I was taking a piss behind some trees, and I really thought someone was going to just like come fucking running out at me.
Damn, that'd be a shame if that happened, huh?
Okay, well, wow. Yeah, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Good thing it
Um,
happened.
but not to you, at least. I mean, you guys let that lady walk up on me while I was taking a whiz.
No, we didn't. We didn't see the bitch. What?
Yeah, okay.
That's not
You
our
probably
fault.
like told her like, "Hey, over there."
No,
Um,
you would just go, well, come along. You can watch.
no, I was terrified. I was a minor. Uh,
No, you weren't.
but yeah, all in all, these tunnels served as a crucial role in the success of the Transcontinental Railroad. Um, though they were only in commission for 125 years, they most definitely served a major purpose.
No, yeah, they got their use out.
Yeah.
Which I also did look up the plow, and it is a snow plow, but it's also like it's a rail car snow plow to clear specifically the space between the rails of ice and snows. So
Oh, so it just like points down a little deeper.
yeah, so it's a snow plow for train tracks specifically.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool though.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it wouldn't be cool watching that thing come off the rails, and
oh no, that'd be fucking
that'd
terrifying.
be terrifying.
Um, which just I think this just kind of proves like the whole thing of like even like I think nowadays like you can like nature can eat like can still be a fucking brutal thing to deal with. Like try and cross a mountain.
You know, absolutely. This area is for sure not a place you want to be during the winter months.
No, yeah. Go there a little bit, when it's warmer. It's a very beautiful place. You go there when it's, there's snow, which I mean, even we when there's still snow, which I mean it's a mountain. The snow takes forever to leave. But even that, it was still very much, it was very, very good, I think. Very awesome. Very
Yeah,
worth it.
absolutely.
Very worth it to go see you know, the talented artists that have visited there and just fucking done shit up there. Um, then yeah, I think, if you're, I think it's a destination I would recommend people.
Well, yeah, if they're in the area, absolutely go check that out.
Yeah. And
They're in the means for a nice leisurely hike.
and you know what? Now that we think about it, maybe that woman who came upon you pissing, maybe that was Tamsin or whatever.
Maybe
She got
if
some.
she had a dog and wore leggings.
Hey, you know what? Who says ghosts can't change their style, huh?
Yeah, gotta
Maybe.
switch it up with the times, I guess.
Oh yeah. So I
Yep.
think that will probably do it though for today's episode. That was the Donner Pass, the train tunnels. Not that many ghost stories as I thought, but I guess you don't really need ghost stories when you have just the event of what happened to the Donner Party. I guess that kind of serves enough as like a warning and a scare.
Yeah, it's a tale for sure that will live on.
Mm-hmm. So thinking on it, I guess not the ghost stories are not really needed when something like this has happened. But Who knows? Maybe Tamsin is still up there. Maybe her ghost is still wandering, and
Gotta go up there
maybe you'll see her. So, if you do, tell us.
that could be interesting.
Oh hell yeah.
Hear all the different stories people have.
Mm-hmm. I'll be down. I'm glad we ain't
Hmm.
have any that experience. I'm glad it was just a chill hike. But
Just a jolly old time.
hell yeah. So we hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give us, follow, subscribe, whatever it's called. On
Like and subscribe down below.
yeah. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. And we will see you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a good one.